Wow. Alright, so Oneiro has actually been out for 3 years, which is kind of crazy, actually. So many things have happened, not just with Oneiro, the fact that it's so much better of a game than it was in the 1.0, but also just with the personal life also. I haven't really touched Oneiro in a good year. I haven't updated it since 2022, and I'm making a video about it in 2024. Now, the script for this video I've actually had written since 2022, the very first anniversary, and I just haven't read it. So here I am today, June 16th, 2024, 2 days before this video is going to be uploaded, and I wanted to talk about I'm going to be starting with the more common facts, and then I'll probably get to more obscure stuff later on. So, first off, ceilings can fall through the lack of adjacent pieces. You don't need to actually take out a wall or anything. So long as the ceiling is connected to at least 2 other ceilings or walls or land, it has something to, be connected to on 2 sides of it, it'll stay. Otherwise, it's going to fall. This is really good for avoiding conflict. Now, a lot of people probably know that one. So, how about this one? The torch weapon in the first layer and the third layer, the flames on it will actually change color depending on what imbuement the player has. Normally, it's this reddish-orangish color, but if you imbue yourself with fire, it turns to pure red. Or, for a poison imbuement, it turns itself green. For the third detail, if you pick up an item or a gear, and you see this little symbol in the background, that's actually Oneiro's original logo, way back when it was titled Labyrinth. Way back when the game kind of looked like this. And now I have a detail about the Mimic gear, which will unironically change some runs for you guys if you ever go back to the game. So, the Mimic gear actually has an effect for when it hits the player. It's tricky to do, but if you throw it directly upwards and wait for it to come down, you can actually use it to heal yourself to max health. This is especially good when you just won't come across any life potions. Now, the 6th fact here is actually a really old throwback, and that's the Emerald Ring item. The Emerald Ring item in Oneiro grants you 10% luck. It is a direct reference to one of my first projects where I actually tried to make a dungeon generation called Dungeon of the Unknown, which was made in GameMaker for a MS Paint jam. It had Comic Sans as a font, and it had this little funky dude who had grand total of 2 weapons. There was actually going to be a sequel to this. It's never going to happen. I'm pretty sure Oneiro was essentially the sequel to this in my mind, but the Emerald Ring and Dungeon of the Unknown had done the same exact thing. It increased your luck. And when I was looking for items to add to Oneiro, I was like, hey, that would be a cool little inside joke, right? Detail 7 isn't necessarily a detail of the game itself, but it's more about the achievements. And I think I've actually made this point before, but every single achievement you could theoretically do in a single run. None of them ever counteract each other. There are ways to get every single one. It is nigh impossible. Absolutely insane. But yeah, no, there's none of them that actually counteract each other. And this next fact I really like because it's actually about terror. So, terror is made up of 2 spheres, essentially. There's one sphere that has a see-through texture, and then the other sphere, which is on the inside. The sphere on the inside, the texture for it is actually just my own blood. There was one day I was running late to school. I was trying to catch a school bus at 6:54 or however early in the day it was. And it was like 6:53, I was running straight out the door, caught myself on my shoes somehow, and just slammed my knee into the ground. So, yeah, no, instead of getting it treated or anything, I just decided to take a picture of it. And then, sure enough, later on in the day, I was editing a picture of my blood in Photoshop, and that was kind of funny to see people's reactions, so there's that. Number 9 is about Dread, which is the 3rd boss in the Labyrinth. Dread actually has a weak spot. He's the only enemy in the game that has a weak spot to this extent, and it's only for the grappling hook. The dragon is made up of several different hitboxes, one of which is the tail hitbox. If a grapple hook hits the tail hitbox, it actually does 3 times damage, and it's actually a reference to Zelda the Wind Waker, when you're fighting Valu, and you had to use grapple hook on his tail. Now, for the final fact, which I believe only a few people have really found, is the luck stat. I don't know if anyone has ever actually mentioned this. If you have a very high luck stat, and I mean an enormous amount, the game will start telling you when you don't do critical hits. The screen will flash just like normal, but there won't be that little alert at the top right that comes out. I believe the alert would actually say normal hit or something like that. So, with that said, that's all there is to it. I don't have any update on when the next update's going to come out. I still have that, project, the OMCT, Oneiro Mod Creation Tool. I still have that in the works. It's technically finished. I think I've been able to use it the last couple times throughout the last few months. So yeah, no, that's about it. I appreciate you guys watching this video out of nowhere, and I hope you guys learned something. Until the next video, you guys, I appreciate everyone's support. See ya.